Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hold on, let me make sure my angle is giving what it needs to give. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We going up in numbers. I'm grateful. Like, consistency is key, so I'm happy to see. Thank you to my newer subscribers. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for taking time and investing in more peace. It means a lot to me. So as you can tell by the title, we're going to be touching on the topic of validation and self-worth. And this particular topic came to me as a result of my own personal work and healing that I've done along my journey and continue to do. And also, I've been reading this book by SHETTY, 8 Rules of Love. How to find it, how to keep it, how to let it go. Very good book. So far, so good. I'm almost midway through and I feel like every chapter, like every other page, I'm having to pause and reflect. And that's what you want from a book, especially in terms of love and growth and self-evolution. So I approached the topic in this book. Let me go up to the page just so I can refer to it. Section in the book called Parental Gifts and Gaps. And it says, small little quote within the book that I just want to share. We first seek validation from those closest to us. Then, unsatisfied, we look for it from everyone. And finally, we find it in ourselves. And that's so true. Following that little quote, I wanted to touch on the topic of memories, expectations, and modeling that we do as a result. So oftentimes when we are trying to heal wounds within ourselves, we have to reflect and look at our upbringing, our environment that we were in, how our parents and what they did, and how they raised us, how that formed and shaped us into the people that we are now. And so who we are has everything to do with our upbringing. There was a section in this book that asked to write down 3 of the best memories of your childhood, write down 3 of the worst memories, identify the challenging times in your childhood, and did your parents help you through it? How did it affect you? And also, what elements of a relationship did your parents model that you liked or disliked? And hold on, there's one more I'm trying to find. So I skim through it as I talk to y'all. What expectations did your parents have of you? Did these expectations motivate you, put pressure on you? How did they affect your relationships? So when I was doing some reflecting on like my best and worst memories of my childhood, some of my best memories, I pinpointed to holidays, times of togetherness and gathering. Those were near and dear and still are near and dear to my heart because I value fellowship, and I value community, and I value family as a unit. And I guess that kind of ties into, because I am my mother's only child, so anytime that I got together with others, it was something that I strongly desired growing up and sought value in. When it comes to my worst memories, transparent moment, they were often rooted in conflict and volatile experiences, domestic abuse, and yeah. So, as a result of those experiences, I grew up kind of shunning anything that resembled anything that looked like conflict. I valued being drama free, but that could also, on the flip side, translate into avoiding confrontation. And I've grown to understand that not all confrontation has to be violent. And sometimes we can avoid speaking on things based on fear of things becoming heated. And it's a disservice at the same time, because it's like, okay, well, that also can translate into the lacking of confidence of standing up for yourself, because you're scared of, you just don't want to relive any drama. But when it comes to validation and self-worth, parental expectations, were they motivated or were they pressured? For me, I feel a sense of both. I feel like my parents, of course, and all our parents do the best they can with what they have and what they know at the time. I believe in showing grace to our parents, especially now that we're of age where we are, and I say we because I'm a parent myself. And if you're a parent watching this, then you know, stepping into those shoes, you don't have all the answers. There is no book. I mean, there are some books, but there is no step-by-step book of how to parent perfectly. Like there's no such thing. So, we do the best with what we have, and we show grace to those that have shaped us and raised us. I feel, for me, my mother was a big motivator in shaping the woman that I am today, in terms of my mom was the first person to really show me that everyone should be respected. She taught me at a very young age not to see anyone as better or worse than myself. And I can honestly say, growing up as a child, I did not see, and not to make this a race thing, but I did not see color. And that allowed me to really love on any and everybody, or want love for and from any and everybody. But the pressures of my parents stem from their successes. I wouldn't say that my parents pressured me into becoming anything. My parents always wanted me to succeed and do the best that I possibly could because they seen the potential and the greatness within me. But oftentimes, and I guess I'm speaking from personal experiences, like when you see your parents excel at things, um, in the back of your mind, you know, like, okay, I'm following in these footsteps. I may not have to do necessarily everything that they do. However, they're leading by great example, and you just want to do, not you, but I just want to do the best I can to match that because I know I'm capable of that. So, applied pressure in that sense can be motivating. What was it like for you? Um, because I've seen examples of applied pressure in a negative sense where people feel like they couldn't necessarily open up or speak about um their feelings, like they would be, especially for young guys, feeling like, okay, well, guys always feel like you got to be like toughen up, or don't show too much emotion, that makes you weak, um when in all actuality that's your strength. There's so much strength and vulnerability, because it's true. It's one of the truest parts of yourself. um so yeah, reflect on that. Ask yourself that. And again, this isn't to pinpoint or to blame your parents, but this has all to do with how we can better operate as evolved and healing individuals in this world. Something else I wanted to talk about, um, as a result of the modeling that our parents and our environment has, how has that affected our relationships? For me, um, for me, and I've touched on this in past videos, one of the biggest things that I've had to overcome in my relationships, and I very much still felt like I have, is codependency. Platonic and intimate. Um, and how that also spills over into seeking validation outside of yourself. It's like, okay, if you weren't properly taught how to look within yourself first for a green light, a thumbs up, validation, then naturally you're going to search for it outside of yourself in everyone. And I think back to giving you an example of like a child in grade school. When a child does something great and they're praised for it, or a child is learning something new, oftentimes, and I think about it now in terms of like my son, he's in toddler year age group. When he does something good, I praise him. We give high fives, we clap, and it's like, yay. And I think about that in terms of validation. Is he going to now start to, well, he's not, because I'm doing the work so that I can instill this wisdom within him. But just that little example is just like, if we're often used to receiving praise for the action that we do that is looked upon as good, we're always going to seek praise, validation from outside. And it comes a time when, again, you revert back to yourself, and it's just like nobody else's opinion truly matters when it comes to you doing something that you feel speaks true to you. If it fills you up, if it brings you joy and it's not harming anyone, and it's helping showcase you in your best light, that is all the validation that you need. And it bigs up your self-worth in a non-egotistic way. I feel that is so important to continue to do this work on ourselves. I speak so much of that in little postings that I share via my Instagram page, of just being mindful of the impact that we make, because eyes are all around us, and not that we do things again to seek validation in others, but eyes are all around us in the sense of you never know who you're impacting. You never know what the result of you doing the work for you can do in someone else's healing process and life journey. So all in all, I hope that this video inspires you to reflect and think and address certain things that maybe you didn't necessarily think about up until this point along your path and your healing journey. And yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much in it. Try to keep this video under 15 minutes. That didn't work. But leave some love for me in the comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time, more peace.